Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to the show, The RealMe. My name is Abbas, and today, alhamdulillah, we have three lovely guests. One of them is the co-host of the show, Michelle. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for joining us. And today I've got two special artists. I've got brother Husam, Ahmed, who's come all the way from Birmingham. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for joining us. And we have our local special artist, Syed, Ameem, Naqvi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Again, thank you very much for joining us on the show. It's really nice that both of you have come and taken your time out for this show. Thank you. So first of all, I just want to say Eid Mubarak to everyone who's listening, whether you've done it yesterday or today. So even to yourselves, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Inshallah, Allah accepts all your amals. Ameen. So today's topic is called The Artist Within Us. So we're going to explore art as a subject, as a topic that yourselves do as a living and within your passion, and also art within us as well. So we're going to go slightly philosophical in that, inshallah.
We're going to go a bit deep into it, yeah.
So I want to start off with brother Husam.
Yeah.
I want to introduce you to the show first. I want to ask you about how you came about with this. Just a brief introduction of how, just give us a bit of light into how you came up with it.
Well, it was about when I was about 16 years old. Basically, I was studying Islamic theology and philosophy, and what happened was, in the media at that time, there was quite a lot of Islamophobia going around. So what I used to do was I used to do a lot of English graffiti before, and I used to do spray painting and stuff, obviously in places I was allowed to. And while I was doing that, because I used to hang around with a lot of people that would spend a lot of time on the road. Yeah, I'm not trying to say the gangsters in I've never been
This
a
is
gangster.
already going down a dark path, isn't it? I can feel it.
You already said your reputation.
I'm sitting next to him.
All
I'm
the
getting a
G's
bit
listening out
scared.
there.
Basically, you know what it is? I realised that a lot of people were getting up to a lot of mischief because they weren't being productive with their time. So I wanted to get away from that, but I wanted to take those people to a better place with me, doing something that would appeal to them. Now, if you go to anyone and I said to them, oh, do you want to have a look at this Van Gogh painting, they wouldn't be interested. But if I said, do you want to go and spray paint something?
Yeah.
Or do you want to see some graffiti? They'd be more interested, yeah, I don't mind that. So anyways, I was doing English graffiti, and then when I started studying Islam, I started learning Arabic and just the normal way of writing Arabic. But one thing is I didn't really like to follow rules when art was more all about expression and how you want to express it.
Yeah.
So I thought, I can't express myself if I'm getting told that, you need to follow these rules in your writing and whatnot. So what happened was I took the Arabic and I tried to mix it with graffiti, giving it graffiti elements, which then later took me to Caligraffiti, which was basically, I wanted to represent an example that although you're a Muslim living in a Western society, you can fully integrate with no problem at all. So I took Arabic, which, the Arabic calligraphy, I turned it contemporary and turned it very modern, and create an Arabic graffiti font out of it, and then I mixed it with English graffiti.
Yeah.
And it was just an example to show that, being a Muslim, which is an Eastern religion, you can mix in with Western society and integrate fully with no problems at all.
Yeah.
And that's how I came up with Caligraffiti. So yeah, that was pretty much my journey into it. I was very passionate about it at that time for that motive, and then obviously later on I ended up going into 10 of the different things, and now the purpose is just everything.
Yeah.
Everything I do, literally.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
Okay, great. So this is just the intro. We're gonna unmask or unveil more of that talent that we have in Husam. So we're gonna move on to our second special guest, who's joined us with us, Syed Ameem. Just an intro on how you got yourself into art, the passion, and you're an art teacher, right?
That's right, yeah. It's a long story, and it starts from school. and like it ends with school because I ended up becoming a school teacher. So we're introduced to art in the education system here in the United Kingdom, and that's where we get a taste for it. In other schools in other countries, different parts of the world, they don't teach it, or they teach it at nursery. When you get into secondary, that's the end of it. So that's the start of my story. And then, because I was good at it, I wanted to do it, not for any other reason. I didn't have any forethought about kind of like, am I going to make money out of this or not? My parents didn't want me to do it. And so I failed at everything else, but I passed art. I passed art and I passed English. And then in the end, I did A-level art, and then I went on to do a degree in fine art. And so I learned a lot about. I was at Derby University, so I learned a lot about different art movements, and I ended up kind of like unexpectedly expressing my faith and my belief. In the form of what they call not performing art, but performance art. So it's time-based, and that involved kind of like reciting poetry, showing slides, and doing things which are kind of like conceptual in a sense, And I passed my degree through doing that. But my skills always been in drawing and painting, which can always be improved. I'm not a master at it, but I've always been good at it. And sometime after that, I ended up deciding that I'd go into teaching because I didn't know where I could go after doing a degree in fine art. Jobs in the newspapers for being a fine artist, you have to do it yourself, So I went on to doing a PGCSE. So it's very different from how perceived. There's an aspect in teaching and education that it doesn't relate to art in the practical sense. It's more about how you communicate, through, once again, in a time-based format, in the form of a lesson with other pupils. And coming from Birmingham as well, the Husam here, my first teaching experience was in a small heath school. Because I did my PGC in
Small World,
so Small Heath School. I was there on the weekend actually, getting my car fixed around the corner at Birmingham on the weekend. I walked past it, the old haunt, and so all of that, it's like a lifelong story or journey for me. My association or relationship with the arts and communicating that to people.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing that. Now I'm quite eager in viewing both of your art, because I know that Husam and Syed Ameem, this is the first time you both actually met each other, so you just walking in the studio, and obviously Syed, you got a connection in Birmingham, and alhamdulillah, Husam's come all the way. So just before you show some of your work, which I'm eager to see, because I know Syed from Mosque, but we haven't actually sat down and looked at some of your artwork, but you have a following as well. You're on Instagram, right?
I'm on Instagram. It's at Caligraffiti.
Okay, brilliant. It's
hard to spell, so I always tell people, think of Cali, C-A-L-I, and then just spell graffiti after it.
All right. Okay, brilliant. So you're on Instagram, mashallah, and people can view your art and more pictures and that.
I've been stalking him for lots of years. I mean, following him. That's the right word.
So Michelle, how did you and Husam, because alhamdulillah, because of yourself, you are all arranged for Husam to come here, so thank you very much for that. How did you get in contact with Husam? How did you meet each other? This is the first time you're actually meeting in person, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Alhamdulillah, it's great. I'm so pleased that you came all this way as well. Thank you for that. I was a stalker for a number of years. I fell in love with his art completely because I'm learning Arabic myself, so that was kind of like the link in for me. But we did a collaboration, didn't we? Quite a while ago now. Where
it's about 2 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. For the benefit of the listeners, do you want to explain what?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So Husam was asking for people to write poetry to put with his art as a way to express our creative sides and to also raise awareness for mental health. So we sort of collabed on that, and then I just met some really lovely people through that as well, which was really nice. Made some great connections.
Oh, brilliant.
So alhamdulillah.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I've always tried to touch upon things because obviously within my generation and people within my age group, I've realised a lot of young people start feeling anxiety and depression and stuff during the exam times and whatnot. So I realised that a lot of young people get very stressed, like very easily. But it goes very unnoticed at the same time, because obviously the norm is to be all happy and life looks amazing on social media. So I've always tried to like break that, you know, what's been the norm, and actually dig under it and be like, no, but people aren't like that. This is just what we see of people's lives. So, you know, I've always tried to reach out to those people who might be feeling like that, just watching like the way I see social media is an advertisement, and an advertisement you will never see anything unappealing. So like I always try to get to the people who are going through things that are too afraid to express it. So just
that's lovely that you touched on that, because we want to inshallah touch on that on the second part of the show. Art within us. That's going to come in. So that's great. So Syed, do you have Instagram? Do you put any of your work on?
I got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I have done some like I've done some through my artwork, tried to promote an organisation called Syed Helping Hands whilst I was in Syria recently, and so a lot of my artwork went up on Facebook, but I don't think I'm as kind of like savvy as these young guys you know, making big pictures, making big money probably as well, so I'm envious already. But like, you know, the thing is that I started off doing graffiti, but unfortunately I was living in Peterborough, not in a big city like Birmingham, so I didn't really pick up I blame it you know? But I mean, I was born in London, you know, and like I came to Peterborough when I was 9 years old, so I felt the difference between living in the capital city and moving into something which was somewhere which felt like a relative village, unfortunately. So I envy the fact that, you know, you've kind of like picked up on the graffiti. I was into hip hop and all of that when I was a youngster, you know. But and I'm really interested in seeing your work as well. Did you do that? You know, on Mont Street, there's that one that's like a Gaza.
No.
To do with that. There's some nice art pieces of artwork down there. I
know who you're on about. There's a doctor. There's a doctor that did that.
Seriously?
Yeah. But he used to do Arabic graffiti as well. Yeah, I've just forgotten his name.
So do you? Sorry, because I'm going to interview him.
No, go for it.
Just have a rest.
Just call me when you're done.
No. So do you work on large scale walls? Do you do walls?
I used to do walls. Yeah. I used to do wall murals. I did it for a few cafes actually, because in London, I tell you something, they appreciate Arabic art to like another level. And the shisha cafes there were quite a few that called me down to do pieces. So I did like quite a few in East London especially, and towards, I'd say, south-ish, so up to about there. But I used to do like really big walls and stuff, spray painting.
Brilliant, wonderful.
Have you done anything on Green Street by any chance?
No.
You haven't, yeah?
No.
Okay.
I did help an artist on Shoreditch.
Okay.
In Shoreditch, you know, they have like that big strip of art. So I did do once. I did a mural there.
Okay, brilliant. So can we view some of your art, please?
I was actually going to do some live, to be fair, just to display something.
Yeah, brilliant. Let's go for it. Yeah, please.
Let me just pull out my iPad. Everyone saw my password now.
So for those who are listening, at home, if you want to tune in, if you want to visually see what Husam's doing, you can watch on YouTube live on the Salaam radio channel, as well as Facebook live. You can view it as well. So, but if you're listening on radio, sorry guys, you'll be missing out. But inshallah, or even before we start, whilst Husam's preparing, if anyone wants to text or WhatsApp in, please feel free to do so on 07745 278 978. Or if you want to call in and ask a question or make a comment to these two lovely artists who have come in, our studio number is 01733 602 133. So yeah, bismillah. So that's the camera for Facebook. So if you want to face it towards that,
what I can do is, you know what, we'll do it, and then I'll display it at the same time. We'll keep talking. And
fine. Sure. So Syed, once Husam's preparing his piece, have you got enough space to show some of your work?
I've got to say, yeah.
You've got a nice, lovely.
I've got, because my work is so varied.
Yeah.
I'm uncertain as to kind of like where to take it.
Yeah.
With you and the time that we've got. So for me, the accomplishment is the fact that I turned up. To the interview.
No, definitely, alhamdulillah. No, thank you.
And the rest of it is like you could say winging it. But like I've got a sketchbook here.
Okay.
And my work, and I'm seeing the guy's work here is absolutely gorgeous. So he's going to have to teach me a few things.
Yeah.
But
it brings out connections, right? So alhamdulillah, thanks to Michelle and yourself, we brought some 2 artists. Inshallah, you can thank me and Michelle. If you do some murals or some wall painting, put my name in there. Get us some over the zone.
I'm going to briefly take you through this sketchbook.
So the camera's there.
Okay, then.
If you can.
This is kind of like a sketchbook which I started developing for a GCSE art project at a school in Ipswich. I did about 3 months there.
Okay.
And the topic of the theme was similarities and differences.
Okay.
And so I wanted to kind of like throw everything together and prove to the learners that whatever it is that you do, you can include within your sketchbook to kind of like link. So as long as you get to link to the actual project. And so this is kind of like the start of my sketchbook.
Okay, cool.
And that's the finished piece. But I'm going to show you about 4 pages to show you how I got to this.
Okay.
And it starts with kind of like just doing a couple of drawings, self-portrait.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the introduction.
What's that? What's that one?
This is a bird.
Okay.
I just drew it.
Yeah.
It was, Pablo Picasso started to get into 3-dimensional work.
Oh, wow.
This is one of his earlier works.
Yeah.
And he did it in plaster, wood, and nails.
Yeah.
And he created this bird, and I thought, this looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So I drew it, I put it in my sketchbook.
Yeah.
I did a self-portrait. I stuck that in the sketchbook,
Who's that a picture of?
That's me when I was
much younger.
Much younger,
okay.
wow. Kind of like back in the days. And but I put that in there. So that introduces me, Syed Naqvi. Similarities and differences.
Yeah.
So we start off with kind of like a brainstorm.
Okay.
And over here, everything that you can think of, basically. So they try and make it so that it's as easy as possible. Man, woman, politics, religion. And so I did everything here. And then modern, old. Right. What's similar and what's different between these 2 pieces of work? This is kind of like Delaunay's work, kind of like turn of the century. Expressionist work, and then this computer kind of like generated artwork here that we've got here.
Okay.
I put them together and say what's similar, what's different. What's the word for it? A commissioned piece of work. Someone wanted to do something for a wedding.
Okay.
So I've written the kind of like the bride and the bridegroom's name, and I've stuck it in here. And I've said, okay, then what are the similarities here? And what are the differences here? And we're looking at East and West now, and that's something that we have to thrive off. Because we're a part of it, being brought up as Muslims in this country, and then living in a Western society. So we're a result of that, and that's our story.
That Arabic just brought me to that. The idea. You've done some work in the masjid, haven't you?
That's right. But
the window. I was telling Michelle and Husam before the show that you've done the painting of. Is it a Quran ayat?
Yeah, it's an ayat of the Quran.
Quran.
And I can't remember what it was, but the Maulana kind of like said, do this for the window of the mihrab. And so I did. I designed it based on what he said.
It's on the masjid window on the Burton Street Mosque.
That's right.
So if anyone wants to pop down,
can have a look.
Can have a look at Syed's work.
And then very quickly, once again, looking at similarities and differences, and looking at kind of like popular culture. You can't avoid kind of like politics and art. You can't because of the influences in artists such as Pablo Picasso. When you start including collage and newspaper cuttings. So I found this, I stuck it in. And there's something political, obviously, about it, but that's an afterthought, really. It's like, okay, then let's talk about it. Let's inform the work. I've done this picture over here.
Wow.
And that is basically a piece of Nazi artwork. And it's propagating, Hitler's cause back in those days. But do you know that? What's this picture? So I drew it. After I drew it, I found out what it was all about, and I wrote all about how does this relate to that. This is kind of like about the war crimes in Iraq. So these things kind of like, I wanted to show the learners how easy it is to piece something together, so long as you're doing work, because you can sit there and think all day, but if you don't do any work, then and then looking at expressions, hands, and I use this from another sketchbook, and I put it in my sketchbook.
Okay.
You know, how can hands say something? And I'm drawing my own hand here. I'm going to move on really as quickly as I can. I did. We've got a special day in the Islamic calendar called Yom Al-Ghadir. Which many people in the Ethno community will know about. And this is kind of like it's words from the 8th Imam Ali Raza alayhi salam about the importance of Ghadir and the event of it. So I've done a print of a piece of calligraphy, you know, which I sketched in a book, and I've stuck this print, and I've done it in different ways. So you can see so far that I'm looking at different types of media, printing, drawing. I'm
distracted. You know what? We shouldn't get too dark this room. I'm getting distracted. Brother Husam's so beautiful, and Syed's got some beautiful. Look at I'm feeling like I'm getting cross-eyed.
Do you know what I love as well, like about the book at the end? It's like I feel really blessed to be kind of a part of when you open that book and I can see inside, because I feel like that's somebody's heart.
It's giving so many messages, man. This is getting too deep. you guys have got me somewhere, haven't you? I'm getting a bit worried though.
So long as we don't drown.
Too many messages coming through the show, man.
So long as we don't drown. And so, you know, I'm like mixed media. There's many different types of media you can introduce to the pupils. Right, that's a good thing. So I'm looking at wax crayon, looking at ink, looking at calligraphy, you know, like or text and image, and looking at English letters as well, you know. And I found this picture, right, of my friend. He gave it to me, you know, and it's like I'm visiting the grave of Sayyidah Bibi Sakina, who's part of the Ahlul Bayt, and like he's there and he's crying his eyes out, you know. And so I thought, okay, this is a really powerful picture. I'm going to take this. I stuck it in my sketchbook. I drew him in. I drew him and then I coloured him in, and then I kind of like I wrote all about kind of like you know what's this picture about? Why have I drawn it? You know. And the funny thing is, because I'm going to quickly say this. Well, I have taught also in Belmarsh prison. I've done a couple of years teaching in prisons. And I showed this sketchbook to kind of like some of the learners there, you know, because they're teaching art. And they looked at this and they go. Is he on the? Is he drunk? Basically, because he's crying. And I just thought, like, it's not the only time you cry. Drunk. You know,
people's interpretation.
But that's interesting, though. We can touch upon that afterwards.
Anyway,
he's opened another kind of worms, isn't he?
You've done lots of drunk art already in your past.
It's about expressing emotions and feelings. So finally, it's really coming up to it. Finally, what I thought I would do is. Everything that I've showed you, I traced parts of it. I traced parts of it, and I came with that. So you've got the story so far. And like you know, the Arabic calligraphy, the political kind of like motif in the newspaper cutting. You know, the calligraphic bird. Put it all together. And then I traced it and I painted it. And so this is what you've got to do. You've got to create a composition. However you do it, you've got to put 2 or 3 things together, and after having done all of that, I wrote about it. Do I like it? Will I now proceed? And I said, no, I don't like it. I've done it, but I don't like it. But what I did like was the actual tracing, and the tracing I put on top of one of the prints, and so for me that's the finished piece. So I put that at the front of the book. You know, so that's like a little journey into kind of like how to create a piece of artwork. You know, and there's and it was an unexpected result. But we can stop there because you've got the rest of the interview to do and talk about.
You know what? Getting Syed on the show is like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, because he does poetry as well, doesn't he? So even when we go into that's a whole show in itself. And I know Husam's eagerly saying, "Oh, it's my turn now." Hold on, Alhamdulillah, but wow, that's really impressive. So if you want to show that just on that camera, that's what you just. What's that show? What did they say? Here's I prepared something earlier or something, isn't it?
Sorry.
You know when they say in the cooking show, here's something.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
That's the one. But mashallah,
this just says Salaam.
Oh wow.
Done that. So what I basically do is you know, like the flourishes and whatnot, it's all a mix of graffiti and whatnot, and like have the
but you've just done that from scratch, yeah? You've literally done that in scratch.
You know what I should be able to do, actually? This is the amazing thing about technology, isn't it? So
oh wow,
so you can watch that happen now.
Excellent. Bit by bit. That's
So yeah, that's.
You're stealing the limelight away from me, aren't you? You're stealing the limelight away from me. I think Husam should be on this.
Yeah, if you want to put that close to the camera, just to give everyone a look, that would be amazing. But
so that's really impressive, mashallah.
MashaAllah.
That's great.
Salaam.
That's great. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So this is just an intro, and the first part of the show has coming to an end. So thank you very much for that. We're going to talk more on that piece. We've just got a few seconds to go before the break, and inshallah we're going to touch upon more of that and other aspects of the show within art itself. So join us after the show. We're going to go for a short break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
कोई रत्तियां कमीज़ानी लमाना मारे मामा मिठिया में चीज़ानी।
मेरा नाम मुकद्दस है और कोट मेरा घर है और ये मेरे लिए किसी जन्नत से कम नहीं। हमारे भी कुछ ख्वाब हैं जिनकी ताबीर को हमें पाना है।
आइए इन बच्चों के ताबनाक मुस्तकबिल के लिए अपना हिस्सा डालिए। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात, खैरात और इमदाद कोट को दीजिए।
UK number 0300 123 7774. Website court.org.uk.
Peterborough just got a whole lot tastier. Five Lads Flame Grilled Peri Peri Chicken is now open. Bring your family and friends to Peterborough's first HMC meat selling restaurant. We are experts in grilled chicken, lamb chops and gourmet lamb and beef burgers. Our healthy options include fresh salads and fresh grilled vegetables. Fresh, clean and healthy grilled food with 4 different flavours. Lemon and herb, medium, hot and extra hot. 5-star hygiene rating. Eat in, order and collect or order for delivery on Deliveroo. Follow 5 Lads Peterborough on Facebook and Instagram 5 Lads. 15 Cowgate, Peterborough, PE1 1LZ. Call 01733 56 22 87. Open 7 days a week, 12 to 11 p.m.
Al-Murad Tiles. With over 70 stores nationwide, we are now open in Peterborough. Up to 50% discount offers now on. Largest selection of tiles. Full bathroom suites from only £189. Paint, LED lighting, laminate flooring from only £7.99. Over 1,000 designs of wallpaper in stock. We have everything you need. Come and visit us at 193 Fengate, Peterborough, PE1 5BH, or call us on 01733 34 58 47. Al-Murad Tiles, now open.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims. Leave the hassle to us. Our multilingual settlement experts will manage the entire claims process on your behalf, with nothing to pay up front. We provide services such as credit hire, taxi vehicles, recovery, storage and much more. For full details on our range of services and a free consultation, call us on 01733 555 774 or visit our office at 249 Lincoln Road opposite the NatWest Bank. Accident Specialists. Start your successful claim today.
Insure 24/7 is a community-based insurance brokerage offering competitive premiums and a great service. Taxis, properties and businesses, we cover them all. Call us on 01733 856699 or visit our new office at 304 Lincoln Road. Insure 24/7. We've got you covered. Insure 24/7 is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
The messenger of God, peace be upon him, said, "If anyone gives as charity as little as a single date from honest earnings, and God accepts only honest earnings, God takes it in his right hand, then makes it grow for the benefit of the charity giver, just as one of you raises his foal until it becomes as big as a mountain."
Narrated by Abu Huraira in the collection of Bukhari and Muslim.
Peterborough's community radio station, Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining me again on the show, The Real Me. I'm Abbas, and today, alhamdulillah, I've been joined by the co-host of the show, Michelle, and brother Husam and Syed Ameem. So, the room has been buzzing so far. So we've only just had an introduction of the two lovely artists who have joined us. Michelle, I think we made a mistake, didn't we? We should have got at least 2 shows out of each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. But alhamdulillah, thank you both of us again for joining me. So, just in case for those who are watching live, I want to show both Syed and Husam's work. I want to show this on the camera, but you know when you press that button and it came from the beginning till the how do you do that?
Just give me a second. So what you do is just see where it says time lapse replay there.
Yeah,
just
press
tap that.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to go quiet for a few moments just so that I can show this to whoever's watching live, just so we can see the beauty of brother Husam's work. That is great. And also, brother Husam, someone actually texted in saying, mashallah, you've got lovely work as well. So thank you to our brother who's texted in. So thank you very much. You can also follow Husam on Instagram, and inshallah, give him a following, and you can get involved with, get in contact with him, get in touch with his work, and mashallah, that's really impressive. Syed, this is a big hint on you, yeah? We're gonna get you into Instagram now. Husam's gonna get you in Instagram now, inshallah, yeah. So we're just saying, whilst we were off in a break, we were saying that we should do like a collaboration between these two lovely artists, get modern day artists and the old school, mashallah, by hand. And also I want to show a couple of canvases that Syed's done. One of the canvases says names, yeah?
Al-Musawwir.
Al-Musawwir.
Means the person who makes, not the person, that's the like Musawwir comes from surah, which means picture.
Yeah.
So the person, like the picture maker, you could say, in a sense, it's probably a bad translation, but it's one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
And Ar-Rahim, just simple, kind of like 2 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
But in this one over here, I've tried to be experimental because I'm looking at the line, I'm looking at the surroundings within which I'm doing the artwork. So you've got a lampshade in the background, you've got television, but you've got the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the front. And I've done some other stuff, but I mean that's just an experimental piece. It's a sketch, but with a paintbrush.
Okay, brilliant. So Husam, you're saying before the show as well that you appreciate the art of an artist who does painting as well, right?
Yeah, definitely, because painting is quite hard to see. The one thing is when you're actually using a pen, because we grow up using pens, it's like very accustomed to our hand. It's like you feel more in control. But with a paintbrush, it's the whole fact of actually controlling them bristles at the end of a brush, which it comes down. You need doctor's hands basically. Because when you're going in between lines, you need to be a surgeon at hand. Like it needs to be there, that focus. So I really appreciate artists who actually use paintbrushes.
But mashallah, both of your work is really impressive. I mean, I'm looking at the canvases here and I'm looking at how quick you've done that whilst me and Syed were talking. That it's really impressive. When you watch a boxing film and then you just think, I want to get into boxing now. And then do you know what I mean? And then when I see this art, I think I want to get into, but my devil's saying, nah, you won't be able to do it, mate.
It's like my head. I'm already like an artist. I'm watching this and thinking, I can do that. I'm so good.
But it's excellent. But I want to Michelle, bring you into light over here, just to throw a few questions, because we always talk about this as well, about when we had mental health last week with Sister Safura. And apologies to everyone who's listening last week, because halfway in the show the voice went.
Well, it was funny, wasn't it? Because we talked about working with humans, and then we ended up speaking like
what
aliens.
The good content got. The
actual playback.
So I want you to throw out a couple of questions, and we're not putting you guys on the spot, But
I'm all for
in
it.
regards to and I know Syed, we can go deep into conversations like this, yeah, and we have them before. But I know, alhamdulillah, Husam's showing, he's coming out with shells, but he's getting some philosophy out there and feel a bit intimidated over here, So I want you to just throw out a couple of questions on mental health, connecting that to the messages that both the brothers have brought in their work.
I just think, for me, I mentioned something recently online that said when you share your passion or share your heart, it actually is terrifying for some people, because it's such a vulnerable state to be in, because you're sharing something that is deep within you. And for art to be appreciated, I always think that it has to have an audience, it has to be seen. And I wonder how you guys feel about that. Like, do you feel scared to share your passion? Do you feel vulnerable when you're sharing that with other people? Is it a personal thing for you to kind of hold on to it, or do you like to have an audience, and do you like to receive feedback?
From my perspective, I personally believe when I first used to do art, it wasn't really about what people saw, because it's one of those things where it starts off as something therapeutic, so it's like something that I would just do it for myself, but then it's when people see it and they're like, oh, I really like that. So although people would appreciate how the art looks, the meaning behind it is something that I appreciated, because I know that this came from this certain emotion or that certain emotion. And I personally believe it can throw you off a bit when someone doesn't like it, but then with time and experience you understand that, well, you know what, everyone has an opinion, and not everyone's opinion always really come together. Not everyone's the same. So what you end up realizing is that whatever I express or however I feel, although I could see that people might disagree with it or might not, or some people will actually love you for your opinions, you end up realizing that, it just makes me realize how many other people there are like me. And then that just made me a very, very open book. And then I just became normal to just express myself, because I knew that there would be someone out there who would also feel the same, and that I'm not very far off from other people. So I don't actually, over time I think I've become a lot more confident in saying how I feel.
It feels like it's a bit of a journey as well.
Definitely. 100%. I was a very shy person before.
Really?
I was the mouse in the room.
Really?
Honestly, now I can't shut up.
Now
I calm down now.
Very good. I mean, I think that's testimony to the fact that how art can kind of like build a person's confidence, and he's kind of like an evidence of that. And because I've worked in education, like teaching art on and off for the last approximately 20 years, I suppose. You see how children, people in secondary schools, even kind of like colleges as well, how the artwork develops, they become confident through doing it, and so it's a mixed set of things for myself, because my art, I believe, it exists today. I mean, I exist as an artist today because of the fact that I teach it. Otherwise I could have just given up or become what I think would probably have been really self-centered. So I've had to become a caring and sharing person, with my artwork. It's good when you show artwork to other people and they're able to connect with it, and they're able to kind of like be inspired by it. And so it's important for me that I'm able to do that, like when I'm in the classroom. When you're in the classroom, the best lessons are the ones where the pictures do speak louder than words. And in fact, when the actions as well, such as the Husam here, he's showing you how to do something like a demonstration like that in front of a group of children would just be like they'd be absolutely fascinated by it. So the practical demonstration, the fact that you do work that people are able to look at, and you be inspired by it is important. But also on the other hand, you can do work for yourself that you might show someone else, they might think that's a load of, but you've done it, and it's part of your story. And what kind of like annoys me is when I see children and they do some work and they're halfway through it and it goes wrong and they screw it up. I'm like, no, don't screw. Keep that. this is evidence of the fact that you've done something.
Yeah.
You didn't waste your time.
Yeah.
Every minute counted. How many minutes did it take you to do that? Put that away. If it went wrong, cut it out, put it in your sketchbook, say, I did this, it went wrong, I'm going to do it again. Because it's part of your story. So art helps you to progress, you know, and does inspire confidence and tells a story, helps to tell a story, and helps other people to tell their stories as well.
Mashallah, that's excellent. Thank you both for that input. We've got a request from one of the people who've texted in. They wanted to know the Instagram name for Brother Husam. It's Caligraffiti, so it's spelled as CALIGRAFFITI, and you can follow him on there, inshallah. And Syed, you need to get your
Instagram.
I've got a YouTube channel called and I've got some artwork up there.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's just called Syed Naqvi.
Syed Naqvi.
Yeah, SEYYEDNAQVI. That's it.
Okay, cool. So
and that's on my Facebook as well, so you can see kind of like everything's jumbled in together. You know, poetry.
But you know what? Seriously, if you've got a talent and you've got skill, alhamdulillah, then you should get your work out there. And already as it is within the community, you know, a lot of local brothers in the community know your skill and I've seen other canvases that you put as well, which is excellent. It's really like impressive. So alhamdulillah, they know about it. But just to get it out there in, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, get it out there. Alhamdulillah, you know, I'm just looking at Brother Husam's Instagram page, and I feel kind of jealous.
I want
to get a following as well. What skills shall I show? But anyway, alhamdulillah, that's really good. But we've touched upon, you know, getting your message out there, and I think it's therapeutic as well. You know, you can be silent. It's amazing, this art that's coming out. You can be silent verbally, but get the message out there with his pictures, and that's exactly what we're doing. 100%. And especially coming from the religion of Islam, alhamdulillah, both of you have got that, you know, the feel of Arabic writing and Arabic calligraphy. It's just amazing.
It's about where you take that love. This is what it is. It's challenging for you, I know, because you want to express this, but then because you've come from a theological kind of like background, you know you're going to get a lot of criticism from within your own community. Am I saying right or not? 100%. They're going to say this, that that looks like a flower. You know, you can't draw living things. They're saying things like that.
Islamic art as well is quite traditional looking, isn't it? And some people don't necessarily, that's not their taste, so they want something more modern.
Remember, you know, when I first started, people were actually slating me for mixing graffiti into it, because the minute you mention graffiti, someone thinks vandalism, rebel, crook, whatever. So
roadman.
Roadman. So, you know, they'd expect me to be wearing an Adidas tracksuit. Actually, I am wearing an Adidas tracksuit. Way you go, but like, just people are like, oh, how can you take such a pure thing with something bad? But it's not always bad, is it? It's just your.
But doesn't that appeal to the youth as well? And that's like hugely important with mental health topic as well, you know, because we're trying to speak to the youth in the community, which is hugely important.
Yeah. I'm just getting striking ideas now about how using their artwork into mental health. But I don't want to reveal it on the air. Let's make some money.
Well, you know, I'm telling you that you know, like, because I've worked with people who are mentally kind of like properly off the tracks. I worked in a category A prison, you know, in London, you know, and so some of the people are lifers, they've got mental health problems, you know. So but the thing is, the thing about the actual prison that I was working in, you know, had a brilliant kind of like book section in the art room. There was a book there called Outsider Art.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever looked into outside art, but that's like all the artwork from mental health patients.
Oh wow.
Some of it's proper crazy.
Really?
You think, how did you think about that?
So I'd love that.
But there's something to possibly look at, because even that's saleable, even like artwork in prison or the artwork of prisoners. It's saleable, you know. And so we're talking about, you know, like art from a vocational viewpoint, there's nothing that can't be sold, you know, and certain things are valued. So, you know,
is it true? I don't know if you've seen it. A few years ago, one of these female artists, she took a picture of her bedroom just like messed up, and she made like some, I don't know how much money out of that.
I
can do that. I'll take a picture of my
could do-
bedroom,
you
know,
can
with a
take a
quilt
picture.
and pillow and all that in a
Yeah, your wife could just send quite a few out.
But it's true though, honestly. Like, I mean, looking at art, like, I don't know, it was actually a painting or like a.
I know who you're
photograph in a
talking
frame, you know what
about.
I mean?
I know you're talking
and
about.
they got a bedroom and it's a nice modern bedroom, but just everything messed up.
Yeah.
Took a picture of it and stuck it on.
I mean, was
Yeah.
that naturally messed up though, or was it
Yeah.
staged?
I don't
Because,
know,
you know-
but it's just like I don't know what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Do you know what were the messages I was looking for in
You
that?
were looking
but
too deeply,
yeah.
maybe.
It's
Yeah.
it's about what you market and how you market and what you decide you're going to market.
Yeah.
Because we're all artists now. I was
Yeah.
talking about this with my sister before coming on the show. I
Yeah.
was reading some of your questions
Yeah.
out, you know, and like but I believe that we're all artists now because we all have a sense of of aestheticism.
Okay.
What is pleasing to the eye, how this room has been designed. Someone's looked at it.
Yeah.
No, this needs to be here. That looks good there.
Yeah.
Right, they've directed something in the
Yeah.
form of art. And like when you're looking at modern art, the turn of the century, you know, you see like the train was invented and people started seeing things in a different way.
Yeah.
Photography was invented, they started seeing things in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, and what's now important, what is that is now important, and what can you present as art?
Yeah.
And some things have been, you know, we're talking about 120 years ago. There's an artist called Marcel Duchamp, and he exhibited a latrine, you know, in a gallery, which
Yeah.
is kind of like still crass now. But the thing is, because he decided to, he
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
and because it's in a gallery, it's now he's saying he wants you all to say that this, this isn't art. He wants you to say that because it's sensationalism, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's decided that it's art.
Mm.
So the thing is, it's what you make of something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you make, and it's contextualizing things. You might see something that looks rubbish and think, well, what's that? But it
Yeah.
might be one of 1,000 pictures.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it might be part of a story, and that's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, and so we need to bear those things in mind.
Yeah. Can I just pop in something that I listened to on YouTube, and this might be to do with yourselves as well. When you get a piece of art which shows someone suffering, like say when you had that brother crying,
Yeah.
and looking at opportunity out of that, and that talks a lot, because I was watching a video on one of the scholars talking about suffering and making opportunities of that. And one of the other brothers last week also said, you know, do things whilst you're in the storm.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the storm to go past.
I like that. Yeah.
I think you both are picturing something, aren't you? That's my idea, by the way. Get me involved, yeah. So it's like you know, if you got a picture of like a storm and people developing, and that's what I touched on when earlier shows, and that's just mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it depends, like you said, what angle you look at it.
Yeah.
Husam, what would you say in the art that you do? What angle do you look at it?
Well, the way I see it is, to be fair, it really depends on what I feel at that time. So, for example, like last week, I was speaking to someone and they were talking a lot about domestic violence and whatnot.
Okay.
And they were speaking about women in Islam, but in a very negative way.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is, I don't really like to categorize things. I like to have a holistic view on everything that I see. So what I did was I started doing something for female empowerment, which I was doing last week.
I saw that.
Seeing it, yeah. So just making sure she's a top follower. So
have you seen it? Hope you have.
Did you like it as well?
I told you I'm a stalker.
Michelle, did you like it?
I did.
Oh, you
Yes,
did, yeah,
I did make
okay.
a comment. Yes.
Yeah, so that was like on my mind at that time, where I thought, okay, you know what, a lot of women may feel like, you know, they've been put down or whatever. A lot of women feel like, you know, they're kind of insecure about certain things and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to just lift someone up. I like to be very, very positive and very, very motivated.
Yeah.
I love giving out motivation. And so yeah, I touched on female empowerment, so that was like something that was very inspiring for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just started off, I went into like, you know, appreciating a mother to a spouse to then family, because obviously you can't have a family unless a woman starts a family, because that's where the seed is planted, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it was just about appreciating women, and just literally their physical being is like a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's whatever's inspiring me at that time, that's what I put into my pieces.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm feeling angry, I'd have like a lot of sharp edges in my writing. It wouldn't be so smooth in the curves and whatnot. It'd be a lot of jagged edges. So yeah, it just depends on what the mood is.
Yeah,
it depends on what's driving me.
It's funny, isn't it? Because when I write poetry, and I get quite a lot of people messaging me in my DMs, and they're like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
You know, because I'm in the storm and I'm kind of writing this poetry, and they're all sort of checking on me. Are you okay? Are you feeling all right? But it's good to share what you're going through. I think it's really important, and I think something that Husam touched on earlier, when you share your pain, or when you share your suffering or your trials, there's always somebody else out there that is going through a similar thing, or has been through something of their own, you know, in the recent past, and you're actually touching a part of them as well, and letting them know that it's not just them that's in that situation, there's other people, and then you become more of a family, more of a community.
Definitely.
Imagine, and it
like
brings you together, doesn't
exactly. it? Like the brothers over here, Syed and Husam, met for the first time, and you see that connection and the vibe.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched on the questions yet.
Still.
Mashallah. But it is amazing. But
I was going to mention, like, I went on a really spontaneous trip to Brick Lane in London. We were speaking about this earlier before the show, and we got lost down this back alley, me and my girls, and we bumped into this graffiti artist at the back of, like, there was this railway station above, and he was there just doing his thing, really quiet. And me being me, I kind of went over. I thought I'm going to have a chat with him, you know, probe him a little bit, find out where this art comes from, you know, all this passion. And he was really good. He let my girls sort of touch the spray cans and have a go on the wall, and they thought it was amazing. They were like searching for all the colours and stuff. And I was kind of chatting to him at the same time and saying, you know, why are you sort of doing this art here? Why in this dark sort of place?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to show my art anywhere else. And I was like, wow, that really sort of hit home to me. It really touched me. And the more that we talked, the more his confidence was growing. And it was kind of like, you know, you feel like you're not good enough to share this, but it's obviously a seed of passion that is in your belly, that, you know, there's a fire in there somewhere that wants to share this. And he was amazing. But he'd just never been given that opportunity or that kind of spot on the wall, so to speak, to be able to share his talent and share his passion. And it just made me wonder, with the youths in the community, how many talented people have we got hiding away in back alleys, or, you know, how many youths and children are actually thinking that I've got this passion within me, but I'm not quite good enough to take it out there and share it with people.
Definitely
100%.
Syed, what do you think of emotion in art?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's what it's all about.
You know what? I was just imagining that, you know, you get like paint and you just like feel angry, just throw it on like canvas and just make art out of it. You know what I mean?
You're getting really inspired, aren't you? I can feel the energy.
I can feel it.
Well, I'm just looking at the visual graphics on the computer there, and it looks a little bit like that you've got, you know, so people do like to see an element of spontaneity in the work, but like, once again, it's about how deep you want to go and who your market is, you know, and like, and I've always believed that even if you are a talented person, right, it's definitely about 95% hard work, and that 5% is inspiration. That's the part that you're good at, you know. And so I do believe that there needs to be, in, like, when you're doing art, there needs to be a context for it. It's done within a framework, either within a certain amount of time or a certain amount of space, right? So we need to be, I think, as Muslims, especially looking at your demonstration of calligraphy, calligraphy is about doing things within a certain amount of space. You know, how long is that line in comparison to that line, and how far is the dot away from the top? It's a technical element here, right, which exercises the brain, and that's maths, that's mathematics, it's part of it. It's about proportion and size. So we need to use art in a way that helps us develop mentally, you know, become mentally stronger, right? And you know, so you know, there's got to be a stop point when it comes to being spontaneous. You're only going to go so far. If you're going to be a flash in the pan, splash some paint on a canvas, and that's the end of it. That's in my view, it's not enough. You need to kind of like construct something, and even if it looks like it's not constructed efficiently, prove that it has been through your words. Through your research of what you're doing, through self-knowledge.
No, brilliant. So, you know what? Time goes so quick, man. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies.
So just to end in, if I can squeeze in, just a couple of messages which you would give to all those listening out there. So I'll start with Brother Husam first. Any messages?
What I would say definitely is It's something that I always follow on, which is basically, if you're not doing something you don't love, you can't wake up and shout yes. So it's like, you can only wake up if you're doing what you love. You'll never call it work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just something you love doing. But yeah, one thing I always say is, you know, don't live to work, work to live. So it's like, go out there and just do what you love doing, because nobody can ever tell you really and truly like you're doing too much, because for you it's never enough. So yeah, just chase your passions. I always follow off passion.
Thank you so much.
I'd say.
Syed, just a few seconds.
I'd mirror that, but I'd also say at the same time is that, you know, art is an asset, right, or can be an asset to your life. If you're not an artist, it doesn't have to be your life. I'm going to mention very quickly 3 names.
Okay.
But we'll go on to another topic. So you know, just try and be as good as you can at whatever it is that you're doing. You can be creative in anything that you are doing, all right, through applying yourself to it, and that's it.
Ahsan, thank you so much. Very good timing. Just before I go, I would sincerely like to thank Michelle for coming on the show as my co-host and being supportive as always. Thank you for bringing Husam. It's brilliant. And Syed Ameem, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been excellent. So without you guys, this wouldn't have been a successful show.
Thank you very
Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
The masjid is a center of spirituality, education,